Hi everyone, welcome to part 3 of the cereal box journal, which is going to be moon themed. I've still got lots to do on it. I have jumped ahead slightly. I got a bit carried away and did a little front cover picture, which I'll show you in a sec. I was just there. So I'll show just a quick recap of what we've done. So obviously this was a Weetabix box once, which we cut down, which you'll see in part 1, and covered with this sort of cord soft material. We did double layer it with like a fleece underneath, and then put the main material over the top. That's because I just wanted it to be a little bit softer, but I don't know if that's probably at a stage that's worth doing again. We've also put, I've also put a little split pin at the back there, because I'm going to put some of this embroidery thread with some stars hanging down, but that can be done once the pages are in, because I don't want that getting in the way. You could do it before, but I don't want that getting in the way. So what I'm going to do next is decide where to put everything that's going to need to be slightly covered. So on the last video you saw me doing the little dream sign. I think it's come out quite well, really. There's quite a few bubbles around the edge, but I think really generally that's not too, not sure if you can see it all that well, but that's not too bad really. It took about a day to dry and it did go wrinkled. It really went wrinkled at one point when it was drying, but it's come out nice now. So I think that's going to be, so I'm going to put, I made this little front cover Saturday, I think it was, and I just got a bit carried away with all the gilding and things like that, so which I haven't done before. So I was playing around with the gilding flakes that I've had for ages and just haven't used them before. So I covered some card, just basic craft card, with the gilding flakes. I think that's flakes. And then I printed out a little picture of the moon, and then I'm just going to glue that. I'll do that now. So that's all I did really. I don't think you really missed out on all that much. So I thought that I'd get that ready. We can glue that on. And then, so I'm just going to pop some glue onto the picture side. There. I do prefer daylight, so sorry, the lighting's probably not very good. So put plenty of glue on there, some fluff there. I'm just going to glue that onto the craft card that I've decorated the gilding flakes. Just position that roughly. And then I think I'll position that now. I'll glue that straight on, because I want to get this dream on, because we're going to put that on with these little split pins, and I want them to be covered by the inside cover. I'm not explaining myself very well, you'll see what I mean. So if we put the Fabri-Tac on the back of the craft card, again put plenty on. That's it. And then I'm going to position it up here nearer the top end, rather than, I sort of was going to put it directly in the middle, and then I thought, well no, let's just do something different. So that's going to be going there, and then I'm going to push the little split pins through the sign. Oh look, I'll trim that off. Where's my little scissors? Just trim that off, that won't hurt. I would say as well, if you watched the last video, I would trim the dream the piece of paper that you put wherever your wording's going to be. If you did want to do something like this, I'd probably trim that up first, which I didn't do. That's it. So take that away, put those little pins through, and then I'm just going to use I still can't remember what this is called, the sharp tool, just to stab some holes. Probably going to do this a bit awkwardly, so I'm thinking, hang on, if I just grab that a second. So I think about, I'm not sure whether to do it straight on it. Can you see? Yeah. Or have a space. I think I'll have a space, I think. So I'm just going to use the sharp. In fact, I should put something underneath that, shouldn't I? Where's my bit of cardboard? There it is. So let's just position that, stab that through. It'll just give us a bit of a hole through to make that a bit easier to put those split pins through, that's all. And then we should be able to just push them through there. I mean, I'm going to glue it, so I'm not sure why I'm doing that now. I'm going to glue it as well. Oh, can you see? So I'll pop some glue on there. See if I can find them holes now. Whoops. Let's see where you are. No idea. Absolutely no idea. Ah. There. Let's make a bigger hole. There. And let's push that through a bit more so I can see what's going on. That's it. And then, look what's happening here. Fiddly bit. So that's there. I'm probably making this look much more difficult than it actually is. Why do things the easy way? Just find them holes again. It's not helping that that's misbehaving. That's it. I mean, they're not really going to help to keep this on, but there we go. Just gives it that finish, doesn't it? But glue everywhere now. So if we turn that over, see, I don't think I can even really split them. I give them a push. We're just making a sharp bit inside here now. I'll put a little bit of washi tape in, I think. I've got some somewhere. That's it. Oh, I just had to double check then. I thought I better put it upside down. There we go. Right. Okay, is that straight? There, lovely. Right, get glue everywhere. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll just put some washi tape. Might turn that actually, because that might, oh no it won't, will it, because we've got to put the that shouldn't show. I might turn it anyway actually, it won't hurt. Turn it that way, just in case that sticks above the internal spine, just to make that softer, so we don't want it sticking through anywhere. Right, that's that bit done. Let's just check that. Not sure if the picture's moved a bit or just my eyes. Right, so the next thing we need to do as well, before we do anything into the internal part of it, is I'd like to put this little toggle button on and some corners. So I'm just going to get, if I can find it, a needle. Ooh. And I'm going to use some of this thread because I quite like the colour, and that's going to be on the back as well. So I'm just going to use some of this embroidery thread. So when you're doing your journal, just if you're adding things to the front, just try and remember to do it before you start covering the inside, so that anything that might stick out is covered. So I'll just thread that if I can. I'm just threading the needle, you're not missing anything. So I need to have it close to my face. Ooh. Of course one bit doesn't want to go through. Now I've split the thread. Hold on. I've made a mess now. That's okay. Won't need much anyway, will we? Right. So we want to put the glue everywhere, sorry about this. We want to put that about there, I think. Yeah. So again, I'm just going to use the sharp tool, which I will find the name out of. I'm just going to use that to make the holes. So I'm just going to push those through a bit bigger, so we've got a chance. Can't see the other one, there it is. Obviously be really careful with this sharp thing. That's it. So we want to just thread that on. Let me find the hole. Sorry, I'm knocking you around. I think this should look all right with the... Where's the other hole? There. This is a bit fiddly. I mean, you don't have to do any of this, what I'm doing. You can keep everything as simple as you like. You don't have to have a fastener. I'm just going to go back up again if it'll let me. Yeah, come on, there we go. I'll just bring that through again and then I'll just tie it off. Oh, I've pulled it through altogether. Oh dear. Okay, it's okay. Why make things easy for yourself? I'll just pull the thread completely through, so we're starting again. Bear with me. Okay. So I'll pull that tight-ish, but not out altogether. I've got quite a bit of thread on this side. Sorry, you probably can't see what I'm doing all that well. The lighting's not very good. And I'm having to bring this quite close to my face so I can see what's going on. Let's bring that through there. And what I will probably do as well is I'll just pop some glue underneath it as well, just to give it an extra, because I don't trust my, ooh, I think that looks quite cute. I think I should go through again. I think I'm just going to go through again, not so much to hold it in because I am going to glue it, but just so that we get that colour of the thread, because it's quite nice, onto the actual toggle. If that makes sense. There we go. Oh, that's nice, isn't it? That was worth doing, I think. So I'm going to tie that off. Well, actually, while it's loose, I'm just going to put some of this, just a little bit of, ooh, strange blob thing has formed on my glue. It's okay, it's okay. Oh, it's okay, it's come off. Not sure if that picture's quite straight. I'm just going to loosen that a little bit and then pop some glue underneath. Just a little blob as a bit of an extra security, just in that centre section, because I need the other part to be quite loose still, because that's going to be where the ribbon, or the, I think I'm going to go with this like leather, not really sure what, I'll show you now. I was going to tie that into a bow then for some reason. Got glue there. So I'll knot that a couple of times and then chop that. Okay, so I think I like that. That was worth it, even though probably wasn't worth it for you to have to watch, but I think that was worth doing. So I thought either this leather, probably shouldn't fiddle with it too much, to sort of go around it like that, so I was thinking if I leave it, hang on, let's make sure that's not glue now. Is that glue? No. So I thought if I glue this in, so it's going to have to be about, so if I glue this in, excuse me, sorry about that, if I glue that there, cut a piece off, and then that can just twine around as the fixture, and then you take it back off again. So let's do that. Whilst this is why you have to think before you start doing all the other bits and pieces, what sort of elements of what you're doing do you need to cover. So I'm going to chop that off. That can go out of my way a minute. That can go out of my way. Then we're going to glue that. I think if it goes, that should be about right. Whoops. That's not helping with the light for you, is it? There we go. There, that's better. So if I glue this in, so that's going to go in like that. Just hold it for a second. Just love to get everywhere. That's it. So we've got the dream bit on, the little split pin at the back, the fastener. We've got the toggle. We've got the toggle, the front cover. So I think all we need to do now is just glue these corners on. And then I need to get the little, I've got my little pinchers somewhere. Oh, there they are. Let me just get that out of the way. So I'm just going to glue and pinch these on all four corners with the pinchers. I'll just again use the Fabri-Tac just on the inside to secure it. And then, so I'm just going to put some glue into there. Pop that and really push it onto the corner. And then try not to knock that fastener around too much. I'm just going to pinch that down. Sorry about the lighting. I do prefer to do videos, like I say, in the daytime, but can't always do that, I'm afraid. That one on. I like that. I think that looks nice. I haven't used metal corners before. So again, I'm just going to put the glue in just down the edge. Oops, nearly pushed it on the wrong side. Push that right in. Glue everywhere. Push that right in there. Plenty of glue. Okay, is that enough there? On. just give that a bit more strength there. I think that fastener's moved around a bit with me flicking this all over the place. Should be okay. And then just do the two other sides. I'll probably speed this up now because you've seen what I'm doing. Right, so that's the corners on. So that's how we're looking, obviously minus all the glue flakes off my hands. So I think once that's dry, we'll be able to have a go at just sealing it up, and my plan is that that will just go around like that and just keep that open, and then there's still plenty, you can't even see, there's still plenty of that for when it's bigger, filled with all different things, you know, all the pages are filled, it'll come out quite a lot, so you've still got that extra amount, plus it looks quite nice just hanging around. So I'm pleased with that. So I'm just going to check. So I've put that on, that's fine. I've done the sign, I've done the front, I've put the fastener on, I've done the corners. There's nothing else that I don't want to see before I start putting the pages in. So next is sorting out. So we've got our spine ready, but what we need to do is put the signatures onto the spine first before we put this in, and then once they're in we can do the front and back cover. So sorting out your signatures is really whether you want, do you want plain paper inside your journal, do you want mixed, do you want it to be a full on junk journal where you're just using all packaging. So what I've done with my signatures is I've decided to do a mixture. I'll just move this away for a second so that can have a bit of time to dry. So I've decided to do a mixture. So the idea for the moon journal came from me seeing these papers off Etsy. I can't remember who the seller is, so I'll have to find that out and put it on. I'll put it into I'll put it on the comments for this. Oops, sorry. So what I've gone for is a page of, sorry, I've knocked the camera. So I've gone for a page of that moon paper, and then I've gone for a pattern sheet. I've gone for another pattern sheet. I know the lines are the wrong way, but that's fine. It is a junk journal, so you can get away with pretty much anything in a junk journal. I've also gone for some like graphic-y sort of moon papers, and then I've also put in a sheet of Amazon packaging, and then I've put another printed sheet in there. So that's that one. And then I've gone for obviously another one of the initial moon papers that I liked, and I found this pattern paper in my stash that I had, another packaging, some more of the graphic-y sort of pages, diagrams I suppose they are, aren't they, lined paper in that one. So it's up to you what you do with your signatures. You can get patterned paper, you can just have it all plain, you can get scraps from places, as long as they're similar size. You can go slightly smaller, but as long as obviously they need to be folded in the middle so that you can sew them in basically. So I've gone for another sheet. I thought each signature for me at the first page, I wanted it to be the moon paper that I liked, and then there's sort of like a table, some more of the lined paper, diagrams again, excuse me, and then I've put a envelope in the centre of that one. So it's a bit of a mixture, and then each one of the patterned paper is only printed on the one side, so there's lots of blank sheets in there as well, to decorate and obviously to do journaling in. But all of these you can journal on, obviously, you know, you can stick things on, photographs and things like that. So it really is what you want to put in your own journal really, but that's what I've gone for in this one. So what I'm going to do, I'm not going to round the corners of this one. I want it to be quite rough really. I don't want it to be all rounded for this journal, but I will do so I've got the covers that I'm going to use. What I've done is printed off some moon theme again. I've got glue there, look, just get that glue off. I've gone for moon themed again. Now I did just print it out onto normal photocopy paper, so I didn't feel like it was that thick, so I've mounted it just onto some craft card, and I glued that on just before I started this video, so it should be dry enough for me to just trim up now. And then that's going to be the front and back cover, I thought. Anyway, we'll have a look now. I'll just trim it up, and then I'm thinking about rounding the corners of these is what I was going to say, unless I said it already. I don't know if I said that out loud or not. So I'll just trim them up, and then we'll see what they look like. We can't glue these in yet though. We can't glue these in until we've glued in the spine with the signatures on. So with journaling, you need to make sure that you do things in the right order, because I have a habit of jumping ahead and then thinking, oh, I should have done that bit yet. So I have to stop myself before I get a bit carried away. I will just pop a bit more glue on some of the edges. Just needs a bit more glue there. That's okay. Get that out of the way. I've got scissors everywhere. A bit squashed in today. So obviously that's the front. So I was going to go with a full moon. So if we put the spine in and pretend that the signatures are sewn in, because obviously these signatures will be attached to this spine like that, and then your front and back cover will go in excuse me, like that. So I think that's quite nice actually. I think that should go together quite nicely. So the next part that we need to do is sewing in the signatures to the spine. So I'll take a pause, I'll let everything dry off, and I'll make a start on sewing the signatures in, and then I'll come back with sewing the last one in with you. Back shortly. Right, I'm back. Just to show you before I start sewing any of the signatures in, I just wanted to show you what I've just done. So I've made a template for the spine. So basically just grab some scrap, cut it out to the same size as the spine, which is obviously just this cardboard section that we made. And then you need to fold it. Let me move that out of the way. You need to just fold it in half. Then and then half again. I actually did it an awkward way. I went half and then I folded that into the middle. And then I folded that into the middle, like that. Just to get the lines into the paper. Then I folded it that way. Then I folded the two ends up, just, that's probably about half a centimetre, just over half a centimetre on each end. And then I folded, so that was that end, and then I folded into that, where those lines are there, back into the centre. So you've got your creases there. And then I've drawn on the lines where I folded and then put the punches where I'm going to put all the holes in for the spine, so that then when we put the signatures in, it should all marry up, or at least that's the theory. So what I'm going to do now is just, sorry about all the glue all over my hands. So just level up your template onto your spine like that. You can use washi tape or whatever you like to use. Let me just get another clip. I've dropped the other one somewhere. To make sure that's actually on the spine and not on the just on the fabric, like that. And then, sorry, I'm wobbling the camera yet again. So I'm just going to start down this bottom end and just stab through, right the way through. Obviously that's a bit thicker there because of all the fabric. So all the way through. And then these will all level up with your, because we'll do the same into the signatures. That should all marry up then, or thereabouts. So I just wanted to show you this section before, because what I'll do now is I'll sew in two of the signatures, and then I'll come back on to show you the last one, to show you how to do it. Because it's quite long-winded if I'm doing all of them on the video, and this video is probably really long already, so I'm just going to turn it round just to do these end ones in there. So obviously I've got, I think I'm trying to go through the thing, and trying to go through the clip then. Oh no, it's just really, it's a tough bit. That's it. Sorry, it's very wobbly. I need to get a different stand really for my phone. So that should have all pierced through. So we've got some nice neat, excuse me, we've got some nice neat holes there, just to ready for us to attach the signature. Obviously we're attaching the signatures to this side, so they've all gone through. I'm not sure if you can see the light through there. So this is the side obviously we will be attaching the signatures to. You need to keep your template, because then we need to put the holes into the signatures. So I'll just do one now to show you. So if we get that onto the board, now what we need to do is make sure that this is all levelled up. So I'm just going to, I'll just show you this section and then you'll know where I am. So you can use your bone thing if you want. I'm just going to just use my nails and go down, get them all in. And then this is a good chance as well for you to just check through, make sure your signatures are where you want them to, your pages, sorry, are where you want them to be in the signature. Okay, so as you can see, what I might do there actually, no I won't. As you see, I've only printed on the one side, like I said before. So there's plenty of areas to write in or decorate or both. So we're just going to go through and make sure everything's where we want it to be. It's leveling up. I'll show you the holes, how to put the holes in. Or at least how I do it anyway. But everyone finds their own way of doing things. So you need to open it out. And then if you put some clips wow, that's it. On all the sides, just to kind of hold things into position. And then if you get your template, that needs to go. So you're going to use your middle piece of the template. Just make sure that that lines up there. There's your middle. Okay. I'll try it with the clips, but I should put some tape really, but that's just right on the end. I probably could have done with going in a little bit more, but it will work. So then just start punching your holes through all your pages into the cardboard, just as we did with the spine. Whoops, that's come off the end there. Everything's moving, obviously. There we go. There we go. So that should be that one all punched in and ready to go. And then you do that with your other signatures. I'm going to sew this one straight in now, so I'm going to get it all set up, so bear with me. Okay, so I want this signature to be the front one, so when you open the journal, this is the first signature that you'll see, so you've got to decide that as well. I'm just going to get a needle. I've got some wax thread. You can use any thread really. I just like this because it seems to just go through nice and easy. And then, so I've just taken a length roughly of the journal and then the same again. So double the length of the signature. Just thread it If I keep going off camera, it's because I'm bringing things close to my face, so I apologise. Now, because we want the knots to be at the back, I'm going to come up through the spine first. So I'm going to make this my first signature, so it's on the left hand side. So I'm just going to grab it. I'm sure there's easier ways, but this is just how I do it. Not that you can see anything. So I've just popped the needle up through the spine, and then it should pop through nicely, she says. Might help if I take these off. I don't normally keep the clips on, so I don't know why I've done that today. So you can see the hole there, that's the middle hole. There we go, straight through. It helps if you make some space for yourself as well. There we go. So just bring that through, if you can. There we go. So I'll just show you at the back there. So we've gone through, that's span round, that's helpful. Did it spin round? No, hang on. No, it didn't. It's me. That's right, that was right. Because we want that to be the front, don't we? Okay, stop overcomplicating it, Becky. So obviously you don't want to let that come all the way through, but we want to pull it a decent way. Then we want to go through this hole. So we go down, find the hole in the, hold on, everything's moving. This isn't the part that I like doing on camera. There we go, just thread it all through, it's okay. It never goes right when I show this bit. Just careful of not, I don't want the end piece to shoot right the way through. Please don't let this put you off, because it is much more simple when you just sat on your own doing it and not recording. Has that popped out? Hang on. That's right, yeah, so that's okay. Just tighten that up. Right, so we've gone down and we just find the hole wherever it is. This lighting's not helping. It's here somewhere. There, is that it? Yes. Oh my goodness. There we go. That's really knocked the camera around. And then let's, while we're here, just go back through. So the top hole, let's just bring that through. Sorry about all the wobbliness. And then grab your signature, and we want that to go up. And it's okay if it doesn't just go straight through, don't worry about it. Just find all the holes on each layer, and then, so that one, this top one hasn't gone through the Amazon packaging, but that's okay because it's still going to have 1, 2, 3 stitches holding it in, so that's plenty. So that'll be sturdy enough. Just give that a good pull. That's it. Pull that back through. We don't want that thread to be lost. And then what I'm going to do is go through, back through this hole. Can't really show you all that well, I'm sorry. I'm going to try, I don't want it to go through the thread, so that went through then, so I'm just going to come down and then go into the hole. Not sure if you can see that. Give that a good pull. Oh. Come on. Just try and get that, there we go, through. And then I'm going to go, don't forget we're going to tighten all this up at the end, so I think I'm going to just go up through into that one. See, that's got the Amazon packaging this time. Not sure if you can see, so I'm just grabbing the holes through. Pull that tight. Believe me, this is really simple. It's just I'm making it look very difficult. So that one's just caught the top of the Amazon packaging this time. And now that's going to go straight through the top hole. I hope I've done this right. I just had a panic and thought, have I sewn it horizontally across the whole, the whole spine, but I haven't. It's okay. So you could have gone back through that middle one if you wanted to there, which is fine to do. Let's see if I can just get this to come through. There we go. So that's that. So let's have a look there. So if I pull, that, just to give me a bit more length, pull that, pull on that one, that should, why aren't you coming through? Hang on. That should tighten. Hang on a minute. Oh, I see. Let's just tighten that bottom section. Is it that one? That's it. And then I'm just going to bring it, if I've got enough thread, I just want to bring that back through this hole. I don't want to go through the thread if I don't really want to break the thread. Well, not break it, but I don't want to go through the thread if I can help it. Let's see if that does it. That's it. So I've pushed that to one side. It should be okay. Ooh, it's right, that's come off. That's okay. Just rethread it. Sorry, I'm really knocking the camera. I do need to get a different stand of some. I just don't know which stand to get. Where you can see above, but it's not on my desk. I'll have to have a little look into that. Right, so not a lot of thread left, but I think we should just about do that. So if we bring that back through, hold on, that bit, there we go, and then we can tie that off. Probably didn't have to go through so many times, but I just think it looks a little bit neater on the inside. If I can get this to come through. There we go. There we go. So if we have a look, so that looks nice and neat. Just check. I mean, the wax does come off, so, but that just wipes away, that's fine. So just check there's nothing that's sort of buckling up anywhere. That all looks nice and neat, so we can tie that off. So just put the pages flat and then just do a knot. Like that. Trim off those, and then of course this is all going to be glued in anyway. So that is how you do your signatures, and that is going to be, so I'll just show you what it'll look like in the journal. So that will be glued in, the spine will be glued in like that, that'll all be glued down, and then that'll be the first signature that you see when you open the journal. Okay, so I'm going to do the other two. I won't put you through the agony of watching me do the other two signatures. Please don't let this put you off actually sewing pages in. It's worth it, and when you sat on your own and not recording, it does seem to go much simpler. So I'll be back with you shortly. Okay, so I'm back. So I've put all of the signatures in now. So we've got all three. Oh, it'll help if I was showing you. All three signatures have gone in. And what I thought would be nice is I've put the moon paper in. So this is the lighter one. Then that one's slightly darker. And then that one's the darkest. So I just thought that was quite nice. So the signatures are all in. So what we're going to do next is glue these onto the journal. So this is the right way round. We're going to put loads of glue here. I'm just going to use Fabri-Tac. That's where we've stitched it in. So you were with me to do that first one, and then I've just been and done the other two off camera because it is quite long-winded to show you everything on camera, and also it makes a really long video and you probably get bored. So this is drying nicely now as well, the fastener, so that's all good. So I'm going to just put loads of glue onto the spine and get this glued in. So I'll do that now, and then I'm going to leave it to glue and set overnight, and then I'll hopefully be able to finish. I'll do part 4 tomorrow then, and then you can see the final journal, because then on part 4 all we'll need to do is the front and back cover, and maybe add a pocket to the front and the back or something like that. I'm not going to glue the fabric bits down right now. I'll do that later on, because I just want this spine bit to go in first. So just check before you go and glue it in that you've got your journal up the right way. That's your front page, so you're happy with that, and then just position it into the journal so that it's nice and level. Check where you've positioned it, it's still going to open and close, because obviously you've got your, that's it, so that should, let's move that down a little bit. Let's make sure you're happy with where it's positioned. I can actually see, you can probably see it better than me, a little bit of that. I'm going to take that off because I actually don't think that's going to cause much of an issue. So let me just, now that's attached to my finger, there we go. So let's just, I'm glad I noticed that. That was just caught, that was just going to cover that split pin, but I actually think that it doesn't need that. So we'll just push that down and make sure that that's going to close still quite nicely. And I think that's just right. Nothing showing that shouldn't be at the top. That split pin's not hanging out because there won't be much we can do about it once this is glued. So that bit's sticky there still, so I might just put, if I can find something, just some paper, some plastic cover on some paper. Just bear with me, I'm sorry, this isn't very interesting for you. I don't want the back cover there, that last part of the signature. Oh, lots of things are falling out. I wasn't expecting that. Butterflies have just fallen out at me. So I'm just going to cover that because that's still a little bit wet there where we glued the fastener in. because I want to be able to open this out, and then I'm going to put something heavy, which will be probably my dies, my big box of dies, my die cuts. Hold on, that's really heavy, so I'm going to just pop that on. I might even be able to carry that on in about an hour or so. I'll give that about an hour just to dry that spine in a little bit, and then I'll carry on. So that's that bit for now. Okay, I'm back. I'm really struggling with the lighting tonight, so I do apologise. Right, so I'm back. The spine's glued in really well. I mean, I will leave it obviously overnight now, but I think I'm happy with how it's all turned out so far. So we've got the fastener sorted. I really like that, bit different. The corners are all glued on and tightened. I've just got to add to the front part of the actual journal. I just need to add obviously the back section there. What am I trying to say? My brain's gone. It's getting late, so I just need to add that and the stars, the little wooden stars that I was going to add on. But I can do that at I'll do another little video for that. I won't do that tonight. So I'm just going to glue in the inside front cover and the inside back cover, but we do need to just glue this piece of fabric down first. So again, I'm going to use Fabri-Tac. I'm going to make sure I put a little squirt of glue in there. It's getting late and I will start talking more confused than I normally am. So I'm going to make sure I'm getting the glue all the way into the bend there. Plenty of glue all the way down. I don't want loads of glue showing, so we don't want to go above where the fabric stops, really. So this is the last time we'll see our little cereal packet now. And then I'm going to do the same with the other side. I will just say, when I leave this to dry, I'm going to just put some plastic. I'm going to make sure that I was going to say I'm going to put some plastic, but what I'm going to do is peg see, I told you I'm terrible. Peg the signatures up. I'll show you what I mean. Words escape me. I do prefer to film in the day, really, because I'm a little bit better with my words. Only a little bit. Yeah, so what I'm going to do is peg up the signatures, the pages, like this. This will make more sense. Because now that I've just glued the fabric, the glue comes through a little bit, and we don't want to glue our pages to that. So I'm really pleased with how the journal's turned out, actually, so far. So I want the full moon as the front inside page, and I wanted the half moon as the back. So I'm just going to go for it and glue these in. I could have added some more gilding like I did to the front. I'm just gluing, sorry, I've gone completely off camera there. So I'm just going to put plenty of glue on the front inside cover. Make sure you get all around the edges like that. Yeah, I just can't get the lighting right today. I've got a light right here and then a light above my head, but it's just not working today. I prefer daylight really. Right, so, sorry, it's a nice close-up of my hand. So we'll just glue that down. Try and get it as straight as possible. Obviously we've got the toggle at the front now, so it's making it stand up a little bit, but the actual journal itself is standing up a little bit there, but that's the glue lid running away. But that will glue in nicely. So we've got the pages pegged up there so that they clipped up, sorry, because we don't want them to glue to anything overnight whilst it's unsupervised. So for the other side, again, I'm just going to glue. I think I told you that I'd back this onto some craft card because I'd just printed the images out on photocopy paper, so I wanted a little bit stronger really, because I knew that I'd be gluing, attaching little bits and pieces so it might stick through the copy paper. So plenty of glue, and if there's any bits sticking up in the morning we can just pop some glue underneath, but put plenty on there. So we just got to make sure, sorry it's in darkness this side. Let's see if I can, whoops, just move everything. See if I can just get that in a better shot for you. So we're just going to make sure that we're covering all around the edges where there isn't any fabric, because we don't really want to see the cereal box. Get rid of that glue. That's it. I think this probably will be the longest video I've ever done. Glue, glue, glue. So that's the two. Just making sure it closes still. It feels ever so sturdy considering it's a cereal box. I mean, I did add that extra layer, but I don't think it was really needed, if I'm honest. I'm glad I did it. So that's covered the stitching that I did for the toggle. It's covered the fastener where I glued all that in. It's covered where I've done the dream sign. So that's all nicely covered now. And my plan is now, not sure whether to just leave it to dry or shall we put the little things on? Because I could cut some lengths of this, thread it through and then tie some of the moons on, not moons, stars. So if I do 1, 2, so I just get some lengths of this. This is just embroidery cotton that I use to attach the toggle, but I quite like this colour. It's like, probably can't really see it all because like I say, it's got a knot in now. Like I say, the lighting's not very good. I wonder if that's enough. That's probably enough. It's got a big knot in it here. There, look. It's not very helpful. Hang on. We might be able to just get that out. I think I just like, oh, ta-da! Patience. Okay, Now it's another knot. How has this got knotted? Yeah, I think that'll be enough, won't it? So let's just trim that up. Whoops. And then if we go, so it's going to be hanging, should probably want it to be hanging from about there. So if we go, just keep making similar lengths. Yeah, it's like a mustardy colour really, isn't it there? Oops, sorry, knocked you about. Steady. I'll just keep looping that, and then I'll trim the bottom, thread it through the ring. Whoops, keep knocking everything. So I'm going to try, I think I've just made a big knot with it. Let me put my lid on my glue before I forget, because I'm always doing that. So I'm thinking if I can make this into a big knot. What am I doing? Right, stop it now, come on. That's it. That's it. So I was thinking if I thread that through, this shouldn't be difficult, but I'll probably make it difficult. Doesn't help that I've got glue on my finger. There we go. So if I do that, find the centre, that's it, and then pull all that through. Ooh, ooh. No, what's happened? Something's happened. Have I done it? I haven't done one of them. Hold on. Right, I'll just have to bring it close to me for a second. I want to just, oh my goodness. Stop it. There we go. So I've missed one there, look. So what I'm going to do, it's misbehaving. No, that probably wasn't a good idea. It's okay. I'll figure something out. No idea what I'm doing now. I think I'm just going to cut that because it's decided to go the wrong way. It's obviously my fault, but I'm blaming the thread. So what I'll do now is I'll cut this end so that they're all separate. I've made that very hard. It shouldn't have been that difficult. So now we've got that at the back of the journal. I was thinking if I thread, obviously I was trying to do it without a needle. That's not going to work, is it? I'll just quickly see if I can do this. So thread that through. Obviously, that's not going to be easy. because there's several, as you know, on a embroidery cotton, there's several threads. What I'll do, what I might be able to do, if I just, oh, I think we've cracked it. No, oh we have. Yeah, there we go. Sort of, I think. So let's just put that through. And then I want to just tie it and see if it'll actually stay on. I might have to glue it. Yeah, because it's quite a big hole, so what I'll do, tie it again, and then I'll probably just put some glue on the knot. One more, should we do one more? There we go. Oh, that didn't work. But I was thinking if I do them at all different sort of lengths, there we go, that's down. But what I would do is I'm just going to put some glue as well and then put several of those on. So I won't video all of that, but I've got some more. I've got a big pack of stars and I just think that will look, sorry, not that again, quite cute with the little wooden stars. So that is as far as we've got with that. So the only thing I'm going to do now is add some more stars to the back. But that is a cereal box journal. So that started out as a Weetabix box. So I'm pretty pleased with that. I'm going to let it dry overnight, and then I'll finish off the putting the stars on, because I want that to just finish and dry nice and straight. So that's that for now. Thank you.